The stars stretched endlessly across the blackness of space, a serene blanket that gave no hint of the storm about to unfold. The hospital ship Hopebringer drifted quietly, its massive white hull gleaming under distant starlight. On board, the ship buzzed with activity, but it was a different kind of energy, a calm, urgent determination. Doctors moved quickly from one patient to another. Nurses checked vital signs, administered medicine, and whispered soft words of comfort. Soldiers and civilians, injured from battles far across the galaxy, lay in carefully arranged recovery bays. There was a quiet sense of hope aboard the Hopebringer, a fragile promise that humanity could heal even in the vast, dangerous reaches of space. Commander Lucas Hayes walked along the main corridor, his boots echoing softly against the metal floor. He had seen many battles, many horrors, but the Hopebringer was always different. This was not a warship. It carried no heavy weapons, no shield strong enough to withstand a serious attack. Its sole mission was to save lives, to bring humanity's care to those who could no longer fight for themselves. Lucas felt a strange pride mixed with worry. "Keep the systems running smoothly," he reminded the crew, scanning the monitors as the ship glided through the sector. "We're almost at the neutral zone. Everyone needs to be ready for anything." In the medical bay, Dr. Elena Ross adjusted the bandages on a young soldier's arm. She smiled gently. "You're going to be fine. Rest now. That's your job." The boy nodded weakly, eyes wide as he stared at the ceiling panels. Around them, other patients murmured quietly or slept. Some had lost more than limbs. They had lost hope. The crew of the Hopebringer worked tirelessly to give it back. Then, without warning, alarms blared across the ship. Red lights flashed. The calm atmosphere vanished in an instant. Lucas's heart thumped in his chest as he raced to the command bridge. "Report," he shouted. Lieutenant Arya Chen, seated at the main control panel, pointed at the view screen. "Sir, multiple unidentified ships have appeared. They're closing fast, weapons charging." Her voice trembled, though she tried to remain steady. The screen showed sleek black alien ships slicing through space with unnerving speed. They bore no insignia, no sign of diplomacy. They were hunters, and their prey was clear. The Hopebringer. Lucas clenched his jaw. "Activate evasive maneuvers. Get the medical teams to secure the patients. Everyone stays calm and follows protocol." He knew it would not be enough. The hospital ship had minimal defenses. Against this fleet, it was nearly defenseless. But he would not let fear take over. Not on his watch. Explosions rocked the hull moments later, throwing the crew off balance. The lights flickered as the ship's outer panels cracked. Oxygen alarms began to sound in various compartments. Panic threatened to spread, but Lucas's voice boomed over the intercom. "Everyone focus! This is exactly why we train. Move patients to secure zones, stay low, and follow orders." The crew sprang into action, but even as they worked, more of the alien ships emerged from the shadows, their weapons cutting through the void with deadly precision. In one recovery bay, Nurse Maya Patel held a small child tightly as the room shook violently. "It's going to be okay," she whispered, though her own hands were trembling. The child's eyes filled with tears, reflecting the red emergency lights flashing across the room. Outside, the sounds of destruction echoed down the corridors, the tearing of metal, the wailing of alarms, and the distant hum of failing systems. Lucas gritted his teeth as he monitored the alien ships. They were organized, precise, and utterly ruthless. There was no hesitation in their attacks, no mercy for the lives aboard the hospital ship. Every hit was calculated, aimed to incapacitate and destroy. Lucas felt anger rising, but he forced it down. Rage could not guide him now. Only clear thinking could save lives. He issued commands, guiding his team with swift precision. Divert all remaining power to life support. Prepare emergency shuttles for immediate evacuation. Shield the medical bays as best you can. Despite their efforts, the Hopebringer took heavy damage. Hull breaches opened in several sections. Smoke filled the corridors. In the bridge, Arya's fingers flew over the controls, her face pale but determined. "We've lost propulsion in the port engines. Shields are at 20%. Lucas's mind raced. They could not outrun these attackers. Fighting them directly would be suicide. The only chance was to protect as many lives as possible. "Focus on containment," he said firmly. "Keep the injured safe. We may not survive intact, but we will save as many as we can." The alien ship swooped in closer, firing in relentless bursts. The Hopebringer shuddered as its structure groaned under the impact. Elsewhere in the ship, Dr. Ross and her team moved patients on stretchers, carrying them through smoke-filled corridors to safer compartments. The ship's AI, though damaged, guided them through secondary passages, recalculating the safest paths. In the midst of chaos, small acts of courage shone through. A young engineer, barely out of training, ran into a collapsing corridor to rescue a group of children trapped under debris. A nurse stayed behind to calm terrified patients even as the walls around her buckled. Lucas watched it all from the bridge, his chest tightening with pride and sorrow. Humanity did not yield. Even here, in the darkest moment, the human spirit burned bright. Then came the final strike. The alien fleet concentrated fire on the ship's main hull, and the resulting explosion rocked the Hopebringer violently. Windows shattered. Sections of the ship were blown into the void. Alarms screamed, lights went out, and the bridge's reinforced viewports cracked. Lucas grabbed the console to steady himself, shouting over the roar of destruction. All crew abandon sections if necessary. Evacuate now. Even as they scrambled, the crew managed to deploy emergency escape pods. People clutched loved ones, medical supplies, and essential data as the pods were launched into space. The Hopebringer's AI counted the survivors as they left. Hundreds, perhaps thousands, were safely away, but the majority of the ship had been destroyed. And yet, even in its destruction, the ship remained a symbol. Humanity refused to yield without fighting, and they valued life above all else. As the last escape pods were ejected, Lucas stood on the bridge, staring at the burning remains of the Hopebringer. His jaw was tight and his eyes were filled with anger. He clenched his fists. "They'll pay," he whispered, voice low and steady. "They will pay for this." The surviving pods drifted in space, carrying the wounded and traumatized away from the wreckage. In Earth's command centers, reports of the attack reached officials within minutes. Screens showed the burning hull of the Hopebringer, the escape pods scattered like fragile seeds in the void. The images shocked the entire planet. News channels broadcasted live, showing citizens and leaders alike the cost of the alien assault. People wept, clenched their fists, and shouted in outrage. This was not a battle. This was murder. In the halls of power, leaders convened emergency sessions. Generals, diplomats, and scientists argued passionately about the next step. Some called for immediate retaliation. Others urged caution. But beneath the debates, a singular emotion unified them all: fury. Humanity had been attacked while it sought only to save lives, and nothing would stop the world from responding. Across the globe, ordinary citizens felt the impact. In classrooms, offices, and homes, people stopped to stare at the news, silent in disbelief. Messages flooded social media: anger, grief, and a burning desire for justice. Humanity's reaction was not just political or military, it was personal. Every human being felt a part of the Hopebringer's tragedy, and every heart beat faster with a need for accountability. Back in space, Commander Lucas Hayes and the surviving crew regrouped in the escape pods. They tended to the wounded, shared rations, and prepared for a long drift back toward friendly space. Despite the fear, despair, and injuries, Lucas saw something remarkable. Humanity had survived. Against impossible odds, hundreds of people had escaped with their lives. And in their eyes burned the same fire that Lucas felt. Rage, yes, but also determination. Humanity would not forget. Humanity would not forgive. Humanity would fight back. And far across the stars, the alien fleet that had destroyed the Hopebringer moved on, unaware that in this act of destruction, they had awakened something far stronger than fear. They had awakened human wrath. The news of the Hopebringer's destruction reached Earth in real time. Screens flickered across every city, every household, every command center. Images of the massive hospital ship burning in space, escape pods drifting like fragile leaves, and wounded survivors being pulled into makeshift rescue stations sent a wave of shock and grief across the planet. Families cried for loved ones who were aboard. Friends mourned comrades, and entire nations felt the weight of the attack. In the halls of the United Earth Command, General Marcus Holt slammed his fist on the table. "This is not just an attack on a ship," he barked. "This is an attack on humanity itself. They dared to destroy a hospital ship. They will pay." Around him, senior officials nodded grimly, their faces tight with anger and determination. The room buzzed with tension, everyone aware that the world had crossed a line. Commander Lucas Hayes, now back on Earth after surviving in an escape pod, stood at the front of the assembly. His uniform was dusty, torn, and scorched from the battle, but his eyes burned with a fierce resolve. "They thought they could break us," he said, his voice steady, echoing in the chamber. "They thought we would tremble in fear after losing lives. They are wrong. Humanity does not bow. Humanity does not yield. We will respond, and we will win." His words resonated across the room, stirring a powerful emotion in all who heard them. Across the planet, civilians were reacting just as passionately. In New York, London, Tokyo, and countless other cities, citizens gathered in squares in front of television screens and online, expressing grief, anger, and defiance. Signs appeared reading simple phrases: "We remember the Hopebringer. No mercy for murderers. Humanity will fight back." People shouted in unison, their voices carrying a message of unity and strength. Humanity was not afraid. Humanity was enraged. Meanwhile, scientists and military strategists worked tirelessly in secure command centers. They analyzed the alien ship's attack patterns, trying to understand their technology. "They are fast," said Dr. Elena Ross, a leading physicist who had been aboard the Hopebringer. "They move with precision. Their weapons are energy-based, and they strike without hesitation. But they underestimated us. We can use their speed against them, predict their patterns, and counter their attacks." Admiral Karen Silva, head of the United Earth Fleet, stood beside Lucas as they watched holographic projections of alien vessels. "They attacked a hospital ship," she said grimly. "They showed no mercy. That is a war crime in any galaxy. We are not just responding, we are teaching them a lesson. Humanity will not forgive this." Training and preparation began immediately. Earth's best pilots, engineers, and soldiers were mobilized. Fleets were inspected, weapons upgraded, and strategies developed. The planet that had spent decades exploring, healing, and negotiating suddenly transformed into a unified force of wrathful determination. Lucas oversaw one of the elite strike teams being assembled. He watched as young recruits, veterans, and specialists trained with intensity. Every soldier understood the stakes. They were not only fighting for survival, but for justice, for revenge, and for the dignity of humanity. At the same time, intelligence teams worked tirelessly to learn more about the attackers. Scans of alien communication signals revealed nothing immediately understandable, but patterns began to emerge. "They are organized," said Lieutenant Arya Chen, Lucas's trusted second-in-command. "They attack in waves, focus on weak points, and retreat when threatened. But they leave traces. We can track them. We can predict their next move." As days passed, humanity's anger transformed into action. Earth's global broadcast channel showed footage of engineers designing advanced weapons, pilots training in zero-gravity simulators, and strategists discussing interstellar battle formations. Citizens followed every update, sharing messages of hope and solidarity. Humanity was not only preparing for war, it was preparing to show the galaxy that it would not be intimidated. Lucas spent his nights reviewing mission plans, memorizing attack routes, and coordinating with fleets stationed across Earth's spaceports. He thought often of the patients aboard the Hopebringer, of the young soldier whose arm had been bandaged by Dr. Ross, of the children who had been carried in the arms of brave nurses. Their lives had been threatened, and their deaths had been prevented only by quick thinking and luck. He vowed that no such attack would ever happen again. Humanity would strike first and strike hard. Finally, after weeks of preparation, Earth was ready. Fleets assembled at strategic points around the planet and in nearby space sectors. Lucas and his strike team boarded one of the most advanced warships, the Vanguard. Its sleek design, reinforced armor, and energy-based weapons made it a formidable opponent. But Lucas knew it was the people aboard that made it truly powerful. Engineers, pilots, and soldiers all understood the mission. They were not just fighting for Earth. They were fighting for every human life lost, every injured survivor, and every dream that the Hopebringer had carried into the stars. The first mission was clear: locate and engage the alien fleet responsible for the attack. Satellite data and scout drones provided a potential position. Lucas reviewed the plan with Admiral Silva. "We will strike swiftly, using coordinated waves. The alien ships are fast, but their coordination is predictable. Focus on precision. Minimize casualties among civilians and colonies near the sector. Show them humanity is not just rage, we are also cunning, strategic, and united." The day of the operation arrived. Earth's fleets moved silently through space, their engines glowing like distant fireflies. Lucas stood on the bridge of the Vanguard, watching the stars stretch past at faster-than-light speed. Every crew member was tense but determined. The alien ships had struck first, but humanity would strike harder. As they neared the coordinates, scout drones detected the alien fleet. They were smaller in number than Earth had feared, but heavily armed. Lucas studied the display, noting the attack patterns, weapon charges, and formation. He turned to Arya. "We attack in 3 waves. First wave draws them out. Second wave targets their command ship. Third wave cleans up stragglers and secures the area. Everyone knows their role." "Yes, sir," Arya replied, her voice calm but firm. The crew repeated the mission objectives in unison. It was a simple, clear command. Humanity would fight with courage, precision, and unity. The battle began with a deafening flare of energy weapons lighting the void. Alien ships darted forward, firing in coordinated bursts. Earth ships maneuvered with speed, using clever formations and evasive maneuvers. Explosions rocked the first wave of engagement, but humanity's preparation held firm. Every hit, every dodge, every calculated strike displayed not just technology but skill, courage, and unyielding determination. Lucas watched as pilots executed maneuvers they had practiced countless times in simulations. Engineers rerouted power to weapons as systems were hit. Soldiers prepared boarding teams in case the battle required direct confrontation. Humanity's response was not just force, it was intelligence, adaptability, and unbreakable will. After hours of intense battle, the alien fleet began to retreat, their command ship damaged. Humanity had proven something vital. They would not be passive victims. Even in the vastness of space, humans could fight with cunning, strength, and unity. Lucas allowed himself a small smile, though he did not celebrate. There was still work to be done. This was the first strike, a warning that humanity could not be taken lightly. As the alien ships disappeared into the darkness, the surviving human fleets regrouped. Messages of success, casualty reports, and operational updates poured in. Lucas and his team reviewed the data carefully, noting the efficiency, bravery, and ingenuity of their crews. They had faced a terrifying enemy and held their ground. Humanity's message was clear: attack a hospital ship, and humanity will respond with calculated fury that could not be stopped. Back on Earth, the reaction was electric. Citizens cheered, governments celebrated cautious victories, and scientists analyzed the battle footage, learning from each maneuver. The planet had tasted the first act of revenge, and it had reminded everyone that humanity, when united, was unstoppable. Yet Lucas knew the war was far from over. The alien attackers had retreated, but they would regroup, repair, and strike again. Humanity's task was not just to win battles. It was to survive, to protect, and to show the galaxy that human courage and ingenuity could overcome even the most advanced threats. He looked out at the stars from the bridge of the Vanguard, his jaw tight, eyes focused. Humanity had awakened. Humanity had fought back, and humanity would not stop until justice was served. The alien fleet had retreated, but Earth's resolve only grew stronger. Humanity had tasted the fire of vengeance, and now it was time to strike back in full force. Commander Lucas Hayes stood on the deck of the Vanguard, overlooking the coordinated formation of Earth's warships. Each vessel gleamed under distant starlight, fully armed, fully prepared, and fully committed to the mission ahead. The fleets moved like one living organism, an immense human force ready to show the galaxy that no attack on humanity would go unanswered. Lucas addressed his crew before entering the battle zone. "We fight for every life lost on the Hopebringer. We fight for the injured, for the innocent, for every human being who deserves protection. The aliens may think they are stronger, faster, and more advanced, but they have not faced humans united in purpose. Today we show them courage, strategy, and determination. Let's bring our people justice." The crew listened in silence, their eyes burning with the same fire as Lucas's. In their faces, hope, grief, and rage combined into a single, unyielding determination. At the edge of the alien-controlled sector, Earth scouts detected the enemy fleet preparing for their next assault. They had repaired some damage, and their numbers were fewer than before, but they were cautious and calculated. Lucas studied the projections carefully. "They are not expecting us," he said. "We have the advantage of surprise and preparation. We strike first and we strike smart." The plan was simple but daring. Earth's fleets would split into multiple groups. one to distract and draw out the alien ships, another to target the command ship directly, and a third to secure nearby neutral space and prevent civilian casualties. Lucas led the main strike team, flying in the Vanguard, the most advanced warship in the fleet. Beside him, Lieutenant Arya Chen monitored the enemy's movements, her fingers flying over the controls. "Commander," Arya said, pointing at the display. "They are forming a defensive perimeter. They expect a frontal attack. We can use a flanking maneuver to hit their command ship from behind." Lucas nodded. "Good, prepare the team. We move in 5 minutes. Everyone knows their roles. Precision and coordination are our greatest weapons." As the fleets closed in, the first wave engaged the enemy. Explosions lit the darkness of space as energy blasts tore through alien hulls. Despite their advanced technology, the alien ships struggled against the coordinated human assault. Earth's warships moved with synchronized precision, dodging attacks, outmaneuvering their opponents, and hitting weak points that the aliens had overlooked. Lucas watched the battle unfold from the bridge. Pilots executed complex maneuvers with skill that even the alien fleet could not anticipate. Engineers rerouted power to shields and weapons as systems sustained damage. Soldiers prepared boarding teams for ships that came close enough. Humanity's response was not just strength, it was intelligence, adaptability, and unity. Every crew member played a part, and every action mattered. The alien fleet attempted a counterattack, concentrating fire on the Vanguard. Lucas gritted his teeth as blasts shook the ship. "Divert all remaining energy to shields. Brace for impact." The hull groaned under the pressure, but the ship held. Arya guided them with calm precision, and the crew responded without hesitation. Humanity's resilience shone brightly in the chaos. Meanwhile, the flanking team approached the alien command ship. Their movements were swift, silent, and precise. Using a combination of stealth maneuvers and rapid strikes, they breached the alien perimeter. Explosions erupted as they hit critical systems, disrupting communication and navigation. The alien command crew scrambled, unprepared for such a clever and coordinated attack. Lucas watched with grim satisfaction. "They underestimated us," he muttered. "They thought destruction of the Hopebringer would scare us. They were wrong." The first wave continued to hold the enemy's attention, drawing fire away from the main strike team. Human ingenuity and courage turned the battle, forcing the aliens into retreat. In the chaos, Lucas received a message from Dr. Elena Ross, who had joined the fleet as a medical and tactical advisor. "Commander, we are monitoring survivors from your previous mission. We can use them to guide rescue operations in sectors the aliens abandoned." "Their knowledge is invaluable," Lucas nodded. "Good. Coordinate with the fleet. Protect the wounded. Humanity does not abandon its own." As the main strike hit the alien command ship, explosions rocked its hull, fires flared, systems failed, and the alien leadership struggled to maintain control. Earth's fleets pressed the advantage, exploiting every weakness. The alien ships began to retreat in disarray, some attempting to flee while others were destroyed in carefully calculated maneuvers. Lucas allowed himself a moment of grim satisfaction. The tide of the battle had shifted. Humanity had shown that it could face superior technology, that it could strategize, adapt, and overcome. Every victory, every destroyed alien ship was a reminder that the human spirit was unstoppable. Even as the battle continued, Lucas noticed acts of heroism across the fleet. Pilots rescued allies from disabled ships, engineers risked their lives to repair critical systems mid-battle, and soldiers provided cover for medical teams attending to the wounded. The story of human courage was not written by one individual. It was written by every person who refused to surrender. Hours passed, and the alien fleet's retreat became chaotic. Their command structures were disrupted, their forces scattered, and their morale shaken. Humanity's counterstrike had not only inflicted damage but also sent a powerful message. Attack Earth, and humanity responds with unmatched strength and intelligence. Lucas coordinated with Admiral Karen Silva to pursue the retreating forces. "We do not destroy for revenge alone," she said. "We strike to protect, to prevent further attacks, and to show the galaxy that humanity will not tolerate such aggression." The pursuit was strategic, avoiding unnecessary destruction, while ensuring the alien fleet could not regroup quickly. Earth's forces demonstrated precision and discipline, combining military power with a careful respect for neutral sectors and potential civilian populations. Humanity's victory was not just in firepower, It was in ethics, intelligence, and unity. At the end of the engagement, Earth's fleets regrouped in a secure sector. Reports showed the extent of alien losses. Several major ships destroyed, command structures crippled, and tactical positions lost. Human casualties were significant but far fewer than expected, thanks to planning, skill, and teamwork. Lucas reviewed the data with Arya and Admiral Silva. "They struck a hospital ship," he said quietly. "We responded with courage, skill, and intelligence. Humanity is stronger than they imagined." The victory brought both relief and reflection. Humanity had struck back, but the cost of war was clear. Survivors of the Hopebringer were now safe on Earth, receiving care and honors for their bravery. Across the globe, people celebrated the fleet's success while mourning the losses. Humanity had shown resilience, courage, and unity, traits that no alien force could ever destroy. Lucas walked among the crew after the battle, acknowledging individual acts of bravery. Pilots, engineers, medics, and soldiers all received commendations for their courage under fire. Stories of heroism spread quickly, inspiring civilians and military alike. Humanity's response was more than victory. It was a declaration that courage, intelligence, and unity defined them. Even as celebrations began, Lucas knew the war was not over. The alien fleet was scattered but not defeated. They would regroup, plan, and strike again. Humanity had won the first decisive battle, but vigilance, strategy, and determination would be needed to secure long-term safety. Lucas gazed at the stars, the light of distant suns reflecting in his eyes. Humanity had shown its strength, and the galaxy would never forget it. In quiet moments, he remembered the Hopebringer, the lives lost, and the people saved. Their courage had become a symbol of human resilience. Lucas vowed silently that humanity would protect every life, defend every innocent, and strike with precision and honor against those who threatened them. This was not just war. It was a declaration that humans would fight for life, justice, and the survival of their species, no matter the odds. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and within them, humanity's determination burned brighter than ever. The first act of vengeance was complete, but the story of human courage had only just begun. The human fleets had celebrated their victory over the alien attackers, but the war was far from over. Intelligence reports indicated that the aliens were regrouping and preparing a retaliatory strike against Earth's outer colonies. The news spread quickly across the planet, and citizens braced themselves for the storm that was coming. Humanity had fought and won a battle, but the war demanded vigilance, courage, and unbreakable unity. Commander Lucas Hayes stood once again on the bridge of the Vanguard, reviewing incoming data. The display showed alien ships moving rapidly through the outer sectors, their numbers smaller but their resolve dangerous. "They are enraged," Lucas said quietly. "They think the human counterstrike humiliated them. They will try to hit us where we are weakest. Our colonies, our people, our families." Lieutenant Arya Chen leaned over the console, her face tense. "The colonies are lightly defended. If they strike, there could be massive casualties. We need to act quickly to protect them." Lucas nodded. "Then we act. Humanity does not wait for disaster, we prevent it. We protect our people. We will not let them strike without consequence." Across the colonies, civilians worked alongside military personnel to strengthen defenses. Engineers reinforced energy shields around spaceports. Medical teams set up emergency shelters, and communication networks were upgraded to maintain constant contact. Humanity had learned from the Hopebringer tragedy that preparation could save countless lives. In every corner of these colonies, ordinary people displayed extraordinary courage. Children helped in minor tasks, teenagers relayed messages, and adults coordinated evacuation routes. Humanity's strength was not just in weapons or fleets. It was in the collective determination of every individual. When the alien fleet finally arrived, it came swiftly, striking with precision at the edge of the colonies. Energy weapons flared across the void, and alarms blared in the spaceports below. Civilians screamed in fear as the first blasts landed, but human defenders responded immediately. Fighter squadrons launched from nearby stations, weaving through the chaos to intercept alien attackers. The energy shields held, absorbing damage while engineers worked furiously to maintain them. Lucas coordinated the defense from the Vanguard. "Focus on protecting civilian zones first," he commanded. "Do not engage recklessly. Precision and strategy will win this fight." His team relayed his orders across the fleets, ensuring that every pilot and soldier understood the priority: protect lives, then strike back. In the midst of the chaos, moments of heroism emerged. A young pilot named Elena Torres guided her squadron to intercept an alien ship aimed at a crowded colony. Outnumbered and outgunned, she used clever maneuvers to distract the alien vessel, drawing it away from civilian zones. Her actions allowed engineers to reinforce the shields, preventing catastrophe. Across the sector, other pilots, medics, and soldiers displayed similar courage, risking their lives to save countless others. Meanwhile, human boarding teams executed daring missions to disable alien ships. Using small agile vessels, they attached explosive charges to critical systems, then escaped before detonation. Each successful mission reduced the aliens' capability and morale, showing that even a technologically superior enemy could be outsmarted by human ingenuity and bravery. Lucas watched the battle unfold, feeling a mixture of pride and concern. "They will not break us," he said. "They may strike with anger. But humanity fights not just for vengeance, we fight to protect life, to defend justice, and to show that courage and intelligence are more powerful than brute force." As the hours passed, the aliens realized that their attack had failed to achieve its goal. Civilian populations remained largely unharmed, and their fleet had suffered unexpected losses. Human defenders had used the terrain of space, tactical formations, and adaptive strategies to neutralize many of the alien advantages. Humanity's response was not just force, it was coordinated, clever and relentless. In one striking moment, a small alien vessel managed to break through defenses and approached a colony's energy shield station. Lucas quickly dispatched a team of elite pilots to intercept it. The pilots engaged in a high-speed duel, dodging energy blasts and using clever maneuvers to confuse the alien crew. Finally, the alien ship was forced to retreat, damaged and retreating into deep space. Humanity had defended the colony without losing a single civilian life. Dr. Elena Ross, monitoring the battlefield from a medical ship nearby, provided crucial support. She coordinated emergency response teams, directed supplies to wounded personnel, and ensured that morale remained high. Her calm presence inspired both soldiers and civilians alike. Humanity's strength lay not only in their military might, but in their ability to care, to protect, and to maintain hope even under fire. As the alien fleet retreated once again, Lucas and his team assessed the damage and losses. Human casualties were minimal compared to the enemy. Thanks to careful planning, courage, and resourcefulness, the aliens had learned a harsh lesson. Humanity would not yield, and even in the face of superior technology, humans could adapt, overcome, and protect what mattered most. On the ground, celebrations were tempered with reflection. Citizens cheered the defenders, honored the fallen, and shared stories of courage from the battle. Across the colonies, people began rebuilding, working together to strengthen defenses and ensure preparedness for future threats. Humanity's resilience was evident everywhere. Lucas took a moment to speak with his team aboard the Vanguard. "We have proven something vital," he said. "The aliens attacked to intimidate us. They thought fear would rule our hearts. Instead, we have shown them courage, intelligence, and unity. We protect life, we fight for justice, and we will not back down." Arya nodded. "Our people are inspired, Commander. Humanity's determination is stronger than ever." They understand that courage is not just in fighting battles. It is in protecting others, thinking strategically, and refusing to surrender. Even as preparations began for the next phase of the war, Lucas knew that vigilance was essential. The alien fleet remained scattered but dangerous. They would return, and the next encounter could be even more severe. Humanity's task was to remain united, to protect the innocent, and to ensure that no attack could ever threaten their people again. In quiet moments, Lucas thought of the Hopebringer, the lives lost, and the bravery displayed during the initial attack. Those memories fueled his determination. Humanity had survived destruction, faced superior forces, and emerged resilient. Every person aboard the surviving fleets and colonies carried the same message. Humans would fight, humans would protect, and humans would prevail. As night fell over Earth's colonies, lights shimmered across space like stars of their own. Humanity was not just defending planets, they were defending hope, life, and the idea that no enemy could crush the human spirit. The alien attackers had tested them, and humanity had responded with intelligence, courage, and unity. Lucas gazed out at the stars, feeling the weight of responsibility but also the strength of his people. "They will come again," he said quietly, "but we are ready. Humanity does not break. Humanity does not yield. And humanity will never stop protecting what matters most." The war was not yet over, but humanity's resolve had never been stronger. Across fleets and colonies, every act of bravery, every calculated strategy, and every life saved reinforced the same truth. The human spirit was unshakable, unstoppable, and unmatched in courage. In the aftermath of the alien retaliation, humanity stood taller than ever before. Citizens, soldiers, and leaders alike understood that survival required courage, intelligence, and unwavering unity. The lessons learned from the attacks and counterattacks shaped a people ready to face any threat. Humanity's story was not just one of battles. It was a story of hope, resilience, and the relentless determination to protect life against all odds. As Lucas prepared for the next mission, he felt a deep sense of pride and responsibility. Every victory, every life saved, and every act of courage reinforced the truth that humanity would endure, fight back, and prevail. The aliens had tested them, but humanity had proven that even in the darkest moments, courage, intelligence, and unity would shine brighter than any weapon. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and humanity's fleets moved with purpose. The battle for survival continued, but the message was clear. Humans would protect their own, fight with determination, and show the galaxy that no enemy could crush their spirit. Humanity's story was far from finished. The war would rage on, but one thing was certain. Earth and its people would face every challenge with courage, intelligence, and an unbreakable will. The aliens had learned their first hard lesson. Humans would not be intimidated, and humanity's courage would not falter. The alien fleet had been scattered, beaten back twice by humanity's courage and intelligence, yet the threat remained. Reports indicated they were regrouping in a distant sector, preparing a final strike in desperation. Commander Lucas Hayes stood on the deck of the Vanguard, watching Earth's combined fleets align for the ultimate engagement. This would not only be a battle for survival, it would be a demonstration that humanity could defend itself against any force, no matter how advanced. Lucas turned to Lieutenant Arya Chen. "This is it," he said, his voice calm but resolute. "Every pilot, every soldier, every engineer, everyone must be at their best. Today we end this. We strike not just for revenge, but to ensure humanity can live without fear of such attacks ever again." Arya nodded. "We're ready, Commander. The crews understand the mission. We fight smart, protect civilians, and ensure their destruction cannot harm Earth again." Across Earth's colonies and orbital command stations, civilians and soldiers alike watched as the fleets prepared. Communications networks broadcasted messages of unity and encouragement. Humanity's spirit was visible not only in the ships and weapons, but in the courage and determination of every individual. They had survived attacks, fought back, and now they would finish what they had started. The Vanguard and its fleet jumped to the alien sector, emerging into a dark expanse dotted with distant stars. The alien ships waited, ready for retaliation. Their black hulls reflected a cold, merciless purpose, but humanity was ready, their minds and hearts steeled by loss, courage, and determination. Lucas addressed his fleet over the intercom. "We have faced them before. We know their tactics, their weaknesses, and their resolve. They attack to intimidate, but we respond with strategy, unity, and courage. Stay sharp, follow orders, and remember why we fight. Humanity will not bow. Humanity will prevail." The battle began with blinding energy blasts cutting across the darkness of space. Alien ships moved with speed, firing in waves attempting to overwhelm Earth's forces. But humanity's preparation, intelligence, and coordination were unmatched. Fleets maneuvered in precise formations, anticipating attacks and striking with deadly accuracy. Every energy blast, every evasive maneuver, every tactical strike reflected human ingenuity under pressure. Lucas piloted the Vanguard into the heart of the engagement. His eyes scanned the displays, tracking enemy movements, identifying weak points, and coordinating counterattacks. Pilots followed his commands, executing daring maneuvers that allowed human ships to outflank the aliens repeatedly. Engineers rerouted power to shields and weapons in the heat of battle, and soldiers prepared boarding teams for critical strikes. Even as the battle raged, humanity did not forget the value of life. Civilians in nearby colonies were protected by reinforced shields and evacuation protocols. Every move was calculated to minimize collateral damage, while maximizing the impact on the alien fleet. Humanity fought with not just firepower, but intelligence, strategy, and moral purpose. In one decisive maneuver, Lucas led a small strike team to target the alien command ship directly. Using stealth and speed, they approached from an unexpected angle, evading the bulk of the enemy fleet. Explosive charges and precision strikes disabled key systems, causing chaos within the alien formation. Without leadership, the alien ships became disorganized, making them vulnerable to the main human fleet. Amid the chaos, acts of heroism shone brightly. Pilot Elena Torres once again led a squadron to defend a group of human ships caught in a tight formation. Despite facing multiple alien attackers, she used clever tactics to draw them away, allowing her comrades to regroup and strike back effectively. Across the fleet, engineers and medics risked their lives to repair critical systems and attend to the wounded mid-battle. Humanity's strength was evident not only in strategy and firepower but in courage, teamwork, and selflessness. As the alien command ship suffered further damage, its crew attempted to regroup, but the coordinated assault of Earth's fleets was relentless. Lucas issued one final directive: focus on the remaining command ships, target leadership, disable weapons, and force them to surrender or retreat. Humanity's message must be clear: we defend life and we will not be intimidated. The alien fleet, disorganized and battered, struggled to respond. Energy blasts from human ships tore through weak points, disabling key systems and forcing enemy ships to retreat. Humanity's fleet pursued them strategically, ensuring that their escape would not allow for regrouping or future attacks. Hours passed in intense, unyielding combat. The alien fleet, once confident in their speed and technology, was reduced to scattered, damaged vessels fleeing into deep space. Humanity had not only defended its people and colonies, but had demonstrated unparalleled courage, strategy, and resilience. As the battle ended, Lucas addressed his fleet. We have faced a dangerous enemy, survived their attacks, and shown the galaxy that humanity is not to be underestimated. Today we have fought not only for revenge, but for every life we protect. Humanity is stronger, braver, and more united than ever before. Back on Earth, celebrations erupted across colonies and cities. Citizens cheered for the surviving fleets, honored the bravery of soldiers, pilots, and medics, and reflected on the courage displayed during the battles. Humanity had not only survived, they had triumphed, proving that intelligence, strategy, and moral strength could overcome even the most technologically advanced enemy. Lucas walked among the crews aboard the Vanguard, personally commending individuals for acts of bravery and quick thinking. Pilots, engineers, soldiers, and medics alike were recognized for their courage under fire. Humanity's victory was not just in the destruction of enemy ships, it was in the spirit, intelligence, and unity of its people. Dr. Elena Ross ensured that the wounded from both sides received necessary care. Humanity's victory was decisive, but compassion remained a core value. Even enemies were treated humanely, reinforcing the idea that humanity fought not only to win, but to uphold principles of justice and morality. As night fell across the colonies, Lucas took a moment to reflect. The war had been brutal, the losses real, but humanity had emerged stronger and more united than ever. Every act of courage, every tactical decision, and every life saved was a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of humans. They had faced overwhelming odds and shown that intelligence, strategy, and moral courage could triumph over raw force. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, silent witnesses to the final human victory. The alien fleet had been defeated, scattered, and humiliated. Humanity had not only avenged the destruction of the Hopebringer, but had proven that they would never bow to intimidation, never allow injustice to go unanswered, and never surrender in the face of superior technology. Lucas gazed at the stars, knowing that vigilance would always be required. Humanity had learned valuable lessons from this war. Preparation, unity, courage, and intelligence were essential for survival. The galaxy had seen the power of human resilience, and Earth would continue to protect its people, colonies, and values with unwavering determination. Across the colonies, people rebuilt, honored heroes, and strengthened defenses. Humanity's story of courage, strategy, and determination spread across the galaxy, sending a clear message to all who would threaten them. Attack humanity, and you will face not only firepower but intelligence, ingenuity, and an unbreakable will. Commander Lucas Hayes, standing on the deck of the Vanguard, felt a deep sense of pride. Humanity had been tested in fire, had faced near destruction, and had emerged victorious. The war had shown that humans were not defined by their technology alone, but by their courage, unity, and relentless determination to protect life. In the silence after the battle, Lucas spoke quietly to his crew. "We have shown the galaxy who we are. We fight not only with strength but with strategy, courage, and honor. Humanity protects life, defends justice, and never surrenders. This victory is for the Hopebringer, for every life lost, and for the generations who will inherit a safer galaxy because of our courage." As fleets returned to Earth, the people celebrated, reflecting on their bravery and resilience. Humanity had faced the darkness of space, the ruthlessness of an advanced enemy, and the threat to its very survival, and had triumphed. The story of the Hopebringer, the initial loss, the counterstrike, and the final decisive victory became a legend of courage, strategy, and the unyielding human spirit. In every corner of Earth and its colonies, humans understood a fundamental truth. No enemy could crush their resolve. Humanity would fight, protect, and survive, always. The galaxy had seen the power of human intelligence, courage, and unity, and it would never forget it. Humanity had endured, humanity had fought, and humanity had prevailed. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, but Earth's people moved among them with unbreakable will, unwavering courage, and a promise that no injustice, no attack, and no enemy could ever break the human spirit. The war was over for now, but the story of humanity's courage, intelligence, and unity would echo across the galaxy forever.